Glenn Beck has a take on why he believes our United States Senate has not yet passed the Save America Now Act, which deals with fortifying our elections, helping us Americans feel more confident about the results of the elections. It polls about 85% of all Americans, left and right, want this to pass, and yet they have not done so. Let's listen to and watch what Glenn Beck has to say, and then we'll come back and see how much we agree with it.
You know why they're really not passing this? This is the God's honest truth. This is why they're not passing it. I think some of them know that, where their bread is buttered, and they need to keep this loosey-goosey. So, maybe they benefit from a few votes that come their way. I think that's a possibility. But I really think the reason why they won't send is because it's too much work. I honestly believe it is because they are too damn lazy. Because here's what the standing filibuster requires. It requires that they keep the session going, which means you have to have a quorum. You have to have enough Republicans and Democrats in the Senate, the well of the Senate, 24 hours a day while this is going on. If you don't, then it ends the legislative day. And so then you're screwed. You have to keep the filibuster going and never end the legislative day, even if it goes for 60 days. You have to be there. People have to be manning that place 24/7. That means the senators are not going to go home. They're not going to have weekends. They're not going to be able to fly back to their constituents and their families and their fundraisers and everything else. That means they're going to be locked in 24 hours a day, and somebody has to be there. It's going to take a lot of work for the management of, the Republicans. Hey, who's on duty? When are you going to be there? When am I going to be there? Who's next? It's going to take management, and it's going to take people with stamina and people who actually believe in something. And I honestly don't think there's enough senators in Washington, D.C. that actually believe in the Constitution. This Save America Act is the most apt name bill I have heard in a long time. The Patriot Act wasn't patriotic. It wasn't. The Inflation Reduction Act had nothing to do with reducing inflation. The Save America Act does. You secure the vote and you can save America. You don't secure the vote, you don't have a country left, because no one will believe the elections. This wasn't a problem when I was a kid. And we also never ever heard, well, we may not know the election results for a week. We never heard that. I never heard that. You voted, we counted, we got the total, sometimes in the middle of the night or the next morning, but we knew. Now we don't. How is it we can secure our financial transactions? How is it you can secure billions of dollars online, moving from bank to bank, country to country? You can do that every day, but we somehow or another cannot secure our own vote. Wow, that doesn't seem logical to me. You know why? Because it's not logical. It's a giant game, and the Senate has to pass it. Stop with all these lies about how it's going to change the filibuster. No, it's not. No, it's not. It is the Mr. Smith goes to Washington that we've all seen growing up. That's the actual filibuster. What you did was you changed the filibuster to where nobody has to stand up. Nobody has to say anything. Somebody just has to text, I think I'm going to filibuster this. And then it goes through and everybody's like, okay, we got to table that until we get 60 votes to open it back up. That's not a filibuster. That's a hijacking of the system. Call your senators. This fight is not over, and it's the most important fight to save the republic.
Okay, and my senators would be Ted Cruz and John Cornyn, two people who have fallen out of favor with me and a lot of other Texans. I think I know where they stand on it, though. It's interesting. Glenn Beck started off talking about how he believes there is an element of the folks there in the Senate who know where their bread is buttered, and they're potentially benefiting from the system as it is, the status quo, and that's why they don't want to change things. Then he goes into talking about how it's really because they're lazy. I don't think that's the crux of the reason. The reason I think they're slow to act on this or don't want anything to do with it is what I've said in the past when it comes to all people in politics. I made a video specifically about it, dealing with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. It comes down, remember these three letters, BTB, Bravo, Tango, Bravo. And for me, they stand for bribery, threats, and blackmail. those are the three reasons why I think they're more than likely not interested in doing what the people want. Whether it's my reasons or Glenn Beck's reasons that they're just lazy, or my reasons that they're being bribed, threatened, or blackmailed. In both cases, they're just not afraid of we the people enough. They're not afraid of us as much as they are afraid of whoever is bribing them, whoever is threatening them and or their family members physically, or whoever is blackmailing them. And, I don't like just talking about potential problems without giving solutions. This is why I am very much for the Article 5 Convention of States. And if you're not hip to that, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about that right now, other than to say, read Article 5 of the Constitution. It's just one paragraph, and it talks about how we actually set up amendments to the Constitution. Well, so far, we've only used one of the ways to amend the Constitution, and that would be having Congress propose changes and then sending those changes that they have approved out to the states to be ratified. And 3/4 of the states have to ratify whatever it is that they bring up as a group. 2/3 of them have to agree on something for it to be a proposed amendment. And then it still has to be ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures. Well, the other way to do that, rather than waiting on Congress to present something, is to have the states have a convention where they present proposals, changes. It still has to go through the same ratification process where 3/4 of the states have to ratify, but the states get to present rather than waiting on Congress. And it's a good idea to me because when you think about it, who created the federal government to begin with? Not a trick question. You should know the answer, and the answer is the states. And that's why I'm for that, because the federal government, our Congress, clearly doesn't care about us. They're never going to present term limits, and that's one of the things that the Article 5 Convention of States movement wants to have passed, term limits. The other thing is fiscal limits. Congress doesn't seem to be in any mood to spend less than they're taking in. And the third thing is limits to the scope and jurisdiction of the federal government. So fiscal limits, term limits, and limits to the scope and jurisdiction of the federal government. Those are the three main things that the Article 5 Convention of States movement wants to have happen. And so you need 2/3 of the states to agree to convene, which would mean out of 50 states, you need 34 states to agree. So far, there's 20 who have. And you still, whatever they propose, have to have 3/4 of the states agree to ratify it for it to become an amendment. 3/4 would be 38 states. So 20 so far are on board to have that meeting. And maybe we can curb some of the problem here, because they're clearly not afraid of us as much as they are afraid of the people who are bribing them, having those bribes taken away, threatening them and or their family members, or blackmailing them. And I know when you're younger, maybe you have less chance to be bribed, blackmailed, or threatened, like Nick Shirley, the guy who have video evidence of the fraud going on in Minneapolis, particularly with the daycare centers, the Learning Center. Well, he did mention, I think when he was on Patrick Bet-David's show, he mentioned, hey, I'm not, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm still a virgin, so what can they do to me? Well, be careful what you may give somebody an opportunity to do to you, but as someone who knows a little bit about tech, it's not impossible for them to upload something onto your computer or your phone that would be lascivious in nature. Let's say maybe some interesting pictures of children or videos of children. And the next thing you know, America and all the people in the media are seeing you as the next Jared from Subway. So I wouldn't put it beyond them finding a way, if you're online uploading some stuff to your computer that you didn't download yourself and making it look like you are some sort of miscreant. Anyway, so that's the current problem. They're just not afraid of we the people enough. I don't know a way to make them afraid, calling them. I mean, do we really need to call them when all the polls say that people on the left and the right want this passed? If John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, feels he can't get enough Republican votes, then he should be campaigning for some Democrat votes. All Democrats should not be voting against this Save America Now Act either, because their people on the left want this as well. I hear, last thing I heard was at least 70% of Democrats who have been polled want this to pass, Democrat voters. You're looking at Republican voters, it's closer to 90%. So overall, it's about 85% of America wants this, and they're playing footsie with it. It's because they're not afraid of us. They're not afraid of the consequences coming from we the people. They are afraid of whoever is controlling them, taking away the bribes, adding more blackmail, or adding more threats to them and members of their family. That's what it really comes down to. I don't think it's just because they're lazy. That could be an element. I don't think that's the biggest element. It's not a sustaining element either, because when they do go to campaign, and many of them have to in Congress, they do. Only about a third of them have to campaign in the Senate this year, and they're going to get it from both barrels, figuratively speaking, from their constituents when they have town hall meetings, when they try to campaign. So this is on both sides, the left and the right. Anyway, what say you? Am I more on the target, or is Glenn Beck more on the target? And what do you think could possibly turn this around?